WWE's plans for Adam Cole revealed. AEW Dynamite doing some monster numbers. A lot to talk about today on the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. But before we get into any of that stuff, I want to let you guys know, this being YouTube, they like when you hit the like button. They don't like it when you go baby. They don't like you doing yes. They don't even like you calling yourself the best in the world. What they do like you doing is hitting the like button. And while you're down there, you might as well hit the notification bell and the subscribe button. And yeah, it helps out the channel. It helps out other people know about the channel. So I definitely appreciate it. It's been working as it is a slow process to rebuild a YouTube channel. It is a very slow process, but I do appreciate all you guys who are still following me here on YouTube and checking it out since the old channel got shut down. But let's get into the news today. So let's start out with some really huge news, and I was not expecting this given the fact that Rampage on Friday did like something like 680,000 viewers, but this past week's edition of AEW Dynamite, according here to all of the news outlets, they drew, and this is crazy numbers, 1.319 million viewers for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite. That is a huge bump. It's up almost 300,000 from the week before, and they are very, like I said, Raw's lowest number this year was 1.5 million. So again, like I said, that gap closing in there. And in addition, they beat WWE Raw in the 18 to 49 demographic again. So yeah, this, again, I've said it on my podcast this week. People who are not taking AEW seriously and still trying to poo-poo them and act like there's nothing significant going on and who cares. Yeah, you keep thinking that. Congratulations to AEW. They deserve it too, because they have put on some really fun, really exciting wrestling shows. It's not the great, for wrestling purists, of course, it's not the best wrestling in the world. It's not the greatest wrestling in the world, but it's fun, exciting wrestling. And yeah, they have some of the best matches in the world too, because again, I'm about to go rewatch it again because I haven't rewatched it yet. The Young Bucks versus Pentagon and Phoenix match from All Out in that cage match, that is a masterpiece. It is an amazing match. It was such an amazing match to watch. I think it'll probably be just as good the next time I watch it in a couple minutes. So, congratulations to them. Congratulations to AEW. They're killing it right now. The audience is finally starting to show. So we'll see how well this goes. I'm still thinking that that Rampage is on a terrible night, but as time goes on, when they move to TBS next year, we're going to see how that goes as well. But so far, everything that they've been doing has been working gangbusters, and I expect, the numbers to dip a little bit next week, but if they can come up now with some good storylines and some things that get people interested with all these characters that they got now that have the eyeballs of the world, they got a lot to do. They got a lot of room to grow, so we'll see what's going on with All Elite Wrestling in the near future. Someone who's definitely paying attention to a lot of this, apparently, is Kevin Owens, formerly known as Kevin Steen. He tweeted out and then deleted a picture of the Mount Rushmore. Now, if you don't know or don't remember his Ring of Honor days or his days on the Indies, Kevin Owens, when he was known as Kevin Steen, was in a faction called the Mount Rushmore, along with Adam Cole Bay and the Young Bucks. And he changed his location to almost there. That could be just seen as trolling, because people have done this before. Like Randy Orton famously, posted that picture of him looking at a plaque that said Elite or whatever on it. Of course, he wasn't going there. He just used that for leverage to get more money out of Vince. But in the case of Kevin Owens, I'm not so sure. I mean, it's another thing, kind of like with Daniel Bryan, kind of like with Adam Cole. There really isn't much for Kevin Owens to do right now in WWE. I don't even know what he's doing in WWE right now because I don't watch the weekly show. He's been in and out with injuries and booking issues and whatever else. But I can't not see him going. I can see him going to AEW. I can see him staying in WWE, because here's the other thing you got to think about with these people leaving WWE. It does allow for new opportunities for guys who are there that aren't doing anything to probably get used more, especially if WWE doesn't want too many more of these people going over to AEW. It's funny how that works with them trying to keep people and then letting people go, and then should they be letting all these people go? Can AEW handle all of it? It's a big question, but like I said, Kevin Owens took down the tweet. I can't follow Kevin Owens because like half of Twitter he blocked me. I don't even know why he blocked me. I didn't even know I was blocked. But I had to go look at it online. I guess he didn't like one of my videos. Who knows? I never said anything bad about Kevin Owens, but whatever. But KO playing both sides of the fence probably. I think he probably will stay in WWE. But you never know. There's really no room for him or anybody else right now in AEW. They are so loaded with people, especially if Bray Wyatt is going to be showing up there sometime near the end of the year. I mean, that's a lot. But the big news with that, too, is that Kevin Owens' contract got restructured because of the pandemic and the budget cuts. I got to talk about that budget cut thing sometimes because I think a lot of people don't really understand what's going on. But Owens' contract got restructured, so his date, which was supposed to be well into, I think, after next year, for when his contract was up, was moved up. And now it's probably up around January or February of 2022. So, again, another person to put on your calendar to watch to see as we get closer to next year, New Year's. Is Kevin Owens leaving WWE? Is he going to AEW? Is he going to stay? Only time will tell. But WWE, they've got good ideas for the guys that were there. They don't want them to leave. They've got good ideas for some of these guys that are the wrestling fans. The wrestling fans, I remind you, are paying a lot of attention to. And one of those people was Adam Cole. Adam Cole, Bay, of course, made his debut along with about half of the world at AEW's All Out pay-per-view this past Sunday night. And the rumors came out, the news came out that WWE had come up with some plans. They were going to try to keep Adam Cole. A lot of people have been reporting this for a couple weeks now leading up to Adam Cole debuting in AEW, that Vince and Bruce Pritchard and all those guys, whichever Pritchard it is, they were coming up with stuff, the creative team, the writing team, for Adam Cole to be on SmackDown and Raw. They were really working on something really hard. And what they came up with, as I mentioned in my podcast earlier, is for Adam Cole to become a manager of Keith Lee. So let me get this straight. You got a guy what's Adam Cole, like 32, 33, 34 years old. He's in his prime. You got one of the most talented wrestlers in North America in his prime. A guy that definitely has a following. A guy that has become a bigger star on your show. Because I will argue that Adam Cole became a bigger star in NXT than anything that he did when he was in Ring of Honor, his little stints in New Japan. I think him being in NXT really established him as a star, whereas some of these other guys, they made themselves stars other places. Adam Cole always kind of got swallowed up in the group of the elite, but now he is coming in back to his boys as a big star because of what he did in NXT. So it's really weird in this case that they thought the best thing to do with him in his prime, this talented guy that Triple H and Shawn Michaels absolutely adore, because there's a lot of similarities with Adam Cole and Shawn Michaels and looks and talent and everything else. They thought to make him a goddamn manager for Keith Lee. They wanted to make him a manager for a guy that they can't even book properly on the main roster. I don't know what's in the water over there at Titan Towers, but there's something's wrong. They are just not like WWE. This is what's remarkable to me about it, because again, I haven't been a big fan of WWE for a number of years now, but I always expect them to be shrewd when it comes to the wrestling business and the perception of them as being the big dogs. That is not the perception right now. I tried to watch about 20 minutes of whatever it was Monday Night Raw the other night, right, on the YouTube clips. I try to watch it, and the star power is just not there. It's not like there's like, oh, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like that girl, I like that girl. There's a handful of people. There's RK Bro, there's Omos, and what they did with Omos and Bobby Lashley was pretty cool, and AJ Styles, and that's really it. The rest of the show is just full of people I'm like, I'm not interested in watching. I'm like scrolling through my phone like, I'm not interested in looking at that. I don't care about Dewdrop. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I didn't care about any of it. I hear and see on other reviewers talking about how many times they just have the same match every single week with really crappy, nonsensical outcomes. I am just baffled at this point that WWE is still just churning out garbage. However, if you go back to the Monday Night War era and remember what happened back then, it took a good while for Vince to really start coming back against WCW. I mean, WCW had been hot and had momentum for about a year and a half before Vince even tried to do anything. And then even then, it took another year and a half for them to actually find a working formula that would beat what WCW was putting out. I don't think you're going to be able to do that with AEW. If AEW catches up, and with these, the way the ratings look, with them hitting 1.3s now, and Raw doing 1.5s, 1.7s, 1.8s, you let the AEW catch up with you, I don't think AEW is going to look back. So, just saying this for WWE fans, because again, I may not like WWE, but I don't want them to go out of business. They're not going out of business, but I want them to at least do something. Like, show, it's not even like, not like I'm gonna watch it, but I would at least like them to show a fight, like put up a fight or something. But I think this goes to the problem that's been with the company, is they just don't really care because they're not losing money. It doesn't matter if AEW winds up doing 3 million viewers. WWE is still going to be making more money than they do because of those TV deals. Now, as we all mentioned, and a lot of smart people have mentioned, when those media rights deals come up again, that's going to be a different story. And they're going to be competing with AEW for media rights. They're going to be competing for the amount of money that they're going to get. AEW is not going to be content doing what they are doing now. AEW is going to try to start expanding. And expanding to other TV deals in other countries and competing with WWE for those rights. We are looking, this war between AEW and WWE is not going to be, like, for the fans, it's going to be really in front of the camera and what the shows are. I think for the businesses behind the scenes, it's going to be whether or not AEW is going to try to get, how big AEW is going to try to get. And are they going to start competing behind the scenes in that arena with WWE, which they're not doing right now. But if things keep going the way they're going, I mean, Tony Khan and his family, they're shrewd business people. They have multiple successful businesses, not like somebody else we know who tried to do other businesses that didn't work. The Khan family has multiple successful businesses in different genres. Wrestling is now yet another one of the genres in which the Khan family has been successful. McMahon really has only been successful with running WWE. The movie studio, meh. The XFL, we already know that story. The WBF, World Bodybuilding Federation, we already know the story about that. WWE New York, we already know the story about that. I don't know, man. It looks like this could be more interesting. This is going to be a different war. I think we're just at the beginning with it. I think we all thought it was going to be a one-way, but I'm starting to see now that the war between AEW and WWE might take on a different flavor than the Monday Night War. It's not going to be like what we saw before, but I want to know what you guys think about this stuff. What do you think about AEW's ratings this week? What do you think about WWE's plans for Adam Cole to make him the manager of Keith Lee? What do you think about Kevin Owens teasing that he may or may not be thinking about becoming elite himself? Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Until next time, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and reviews here on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.